On a Saturday night last year, November, my husband and myself were at home getting ready to go out for supper when I heard the gate open and then a big bang. 3 men had kicked my door down to come inside to my house.
We received a call that there's a home invasion in progress.
They were armed, they were aggressive, they slapped us around a bit, they tied my husband up, and they took us into our bedroom where they made us lie face down on the floor. After a few moments, the doorbell rang, and I was very surprised as I was not expecting anyone. The men asked me who was at the door, and I didn't know. They saw on the cameras that there were security guards standing outside, and they told me to go to the intercom and answer and tell them that I was all right. When I went to the intercom, I saw on the cameras that it was indeed CAP officers that were standing at my gate. I was very surprised to see CAP there, as I was not a CAP member. I answered the intercom and I told the man with a gun to my head that I was all right.
When you arrive, one of my colleagues was speaking with a client. So what I did, I went to the back of the house and I could hear the suspect.
The CAP officer explained to me that the neighbour had called in that she had seen 3 men enter my property. The CAP officer insisted that I come to the gate to show him that I was all right. I explained to the suspects that I needed to go and show that I was all right and that it was a CAP security company waiting outside. The 3 suspects told me to go outside and all the while remember that my husband was still inside with a gun to his head. I went outside and through my gate I was able to see 5, 10, many CAP officers standing across the street. He asked me who I was at home with and I told him that I was at home alone with my husband. He said, "Is there anybody else in your property?" And I said no. He asked me to call my husband to the gate and I told him that I couldn't. He asked me why and I said because my husband was sleeping. He said, "Go wake your husband up and please bring him to the gate." I told him that I couldn't do that and that everything was fine and that he should leave.
Then he goes back to the vehicle and and one that he mentioned there that makes that something might be wrong there. He said, no, the face doesn't show that lady's all right.
He told me to move out of the way as they were going to breach and come in through the gate.
The whole army quickly rushed there.
I begged him to give me 5 minutes to get my husband out of the house or to get my husband out of harm's reach.
I jump into the radio and tell my colleague, says, these guys are still inside.
I went inside. The 3 suspects were waiting by the cameras. They were listening and they could see everything that was going on. I explained to them that CAP was waiting outside with weapons and that they were coming in. They panicked and I told them that they must leave. They asked me to open the back door. I opened the back door and the 3 suspects climbed the wall and left.
The guys were jumping from this house, jumping from the other house, until they end up in an empty house.
I immediately ran inside and I opened the gate and a flood of black uniforms came running into my property.
We quickly go inside to go and check for them. Me and the shift commander, we decided that let's go and check on top of the roof because they might be hiding there, because we check all the rooms. We didn't find anyone. So I quickly grabbed a ladder. We found another one lying there. As we were about to apprehend him, the garage roof collapsed. 3 of us went down. We couldn't lose the suspect. Even the time when we got down, I was still having him. I took the suspect and gave it to my colleagues on the street.
And I saw 2 guys jumping into the next door house. So we went to the other house. When we went there, me and my two other colleagues, who were 3, we searched the house. In the first room that we arrived into, we found the 2 suspects. One was laying in the middle of the room. One was behind the door with the firearm on his hand. We arrested him and then we handed him to the police.
The suspects were caught that night. CAP were absolutely amazing. They put their lives on the line for complete strangers, 2 people that they've never met. Sorry. After the incident, CAP were absolutely amazing. They came past our house daily to check if we were okay. The legal team stayed by our side throughout the whole trial process. Even the CAP officers who had to testify remained in court all the while that we were there. They refused to leave until they knew that we had been escorted safe to our cars.
And you make sure that they feel happy. They feel happy even when they go inside the house. They're happy. They wave their hand. Hey, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. And you even feel that feeling that, you know what, I've done something. I've done something good.
I am so humbled by the work of CAP. by the work of these men who have their own lives, who have their own families, and put their lives at risk every day to save my family, your family, our community.
The tactical approach that we always getting from the training, it also helps us a lot there. That's why we managed to arrest those guys without killing anybody. The company is spending a lot for this training.
I don't know where I would be today without CAP.